Hey everyone, Board Game Brody here with Meeple Mountain. I have a new prototype copy here of Agueda. It's a tile placement, worker placement, pattern building game by 25th Century Games. So Agueda is a city in Portugal, and every summer the streets come alive with colorful umbrellas and street art. In this game, you play as an artist and you will need to balance the requests of the city, the shops, and the tourists to create the most stunning arrangement of umbrellas for your street. Here you can see the market board. These are the umbrella tiles that you are taking to place on your player boards. This is the supply of coins, and the score tracker is down here. Lastly, these cards are the shop cards, which reward in-game scoring points for completing their listed requirements. Each player has a player board. You will be placing the tiles that you take from the market, and you will place in one of the three rows shown here. These are the tourist tiles here, where you can place your tourists to score points. Mural tiles are placed on this board, and you will be able to unlock your tourists from here to place on top of your board at one of the suitcases up here. Players take turns in clockwise orders, and on your turn, you will follow some steps. First, you will choose one diagonal line from the market and take all the umbrellas from it. As you can see, if you go diagonal, the most that you can get is 3. If you choose this line, or this line, or this line. If you choose one of the lines with 3 umbrellas, you will need to pay 1 coin as well. If you choose this line and this line, you will gain 2 umbrellas, and this action is free, so you don't need to pay anything. The last option is choosing this line or this line that only has 1 umbrella in it. This is not the best way to get the most umbrellas, but if it's the one that you want, it might just do. But in addition, when choosing these lines with just 1 umbrella in it, you also gain 1 coin. So looking at the board, the green means gain a coin, the orange with just an arrow is like a normal free action, and the pink is minus 1 coin. After selecting, you will place your umbrellas on your player board, and you will do this by choosing one row to place all umbrellas starting with the leftmost space. You will place each umbrella one by one from left to right in the order of your choice. You cannot skip any spaces, and you will never remove an umbrella that has already been placed. You must place each umbrella that you selected. Any umbrellas you selected that do not fit in a row are then discarded back into the bag. So if you get to the very end, some of them might not fit. After placing all of your umbrellas, you will then check to see if you placed an umbrella on a space marked with a paint splatter and a paintbrush. If so, you will flip the mural tile that matches that umbrella's color to the opposite side. If you placed an umbrella out on a paintbrush space that matches the color of the mural tile that already is flipped, then nothing happens. Once you have flipped both mural tiles in the same row, then you will unlock the tourist meeple that is next to it. You will move it to the suitcase spot on the top of your player board to be used at any time. And if you unlock a tourist, it can be used for the next step, which is attracting tourists. And then you will do this by choosing one of 3 options. First, you can take 1 tourist from a suitcase spot and place it on any open tourist tile to score that row. You will then choose one of the colors from the tourist tile and then score 1 point for each umbrella that matches that color for the entire row, including all previously placed umbrellas as well. Or you can take 2 tourists from the suitcase spots and place them on any open tourist tile, both of them on the same one, and this will score you 1 point for each umbrella that matches both of the colors shown on that tourist tile for the entire row. So 1 tourist will let you choose a color to score points, 2 tourists will let you score both colors, and the last option is to not place any tourist meeples, but rather you will take all the tourists off any of the tourist tiles and place them back on the suitcase spots on your player board. After that, you will then shift the tourist tiles on your player board down 1 space and move the bottom tile up to the very top. The market then gets refilled at the end of your turn, filling in the tiles from top to bottom from random umbrellas from the bag. Then the next player goes, and this continues until a player fills in all 3 rows on their player board. Players will need to strategically choose which umbrellas they choose to add to their player board, because they will both unlock more tourists to perform more actions that score points, but also will pair up with tourist tiles to score additional points. But just Be aware as you plan that you need to anticipate the tourist tiles moving when you choose to take a break and not use one of your tourist meeples to score points. After a player fills in 3 rows with umbrellas, then in-game scoring is then performed. And remember, you will have scored points already from placing tourists on the tourist tiles on the row that has a good number of umbrellas that match that tile. But in-game scoring will add more points to this as well. You will score 2 points if you flipped over 4 mural tiles, 4 points if you flipped over 5, and 6 points if you flipped over all 6. Then you have the shop cards. This can be different each time that you play the game, so make sure you know these cards before starting the game. But you will score points according to these cards. And lastly, each player scores -1 point for each empty space on their player board, where an umbrella is supposed to be. The player with the most points then wins the game. And well, that's Agueda. It's a colorful pattern building game with umbrellas, and this is a lighter family game, as you probably could tell, but there is some strategy as to which umbrellas you choose to add to the player board, and then what order you do it in. There is some management of your money because you don't want to be able to choose the 3 umbrellas every time because you'll run out of money, but you might want to be ready when the perfect ones come out, so you need to have coins ready for that. And then you're trying to flip over as many of the mural tiles as possible to score points and unlock your workers as well. And then you are trying to set up your umbrellas to score points because of the tourist tiles, but those also will move around. So you will need to anticipate those moving, which will happen when you use all of your workers and you need to reset them back. There will be many times where you are choosing between placing umbrellas to help you with a card that scores points versus maybe unlocking a mural tile versus placing umbrellas in a row that will score you points when placing your workers on them. The game feels like these choices ramp up as the game goes on because near the end, sometimes you have those choices that are very hard to make and you really are making the choice of where you want to score your points at. And for those reasons, this game is a really great game. It includes some tough choices, but then it plays under 30 minutes. I mean, that's a dream come true for a lot of people. So again, yes, the game is light, but there is some deeper things happening in this game where players are really trying to become efficient on how they plan and choose tiles, but can also be blow past others if you planning better than they are. If you happen to be able to place umbrellas that all will help you score your cards and unlock mural tiles and also score points with your tourists, then that's pretty good. You will score more points overall that way. So there is still strategic elements in the game, although the game can still be played very casually as well. The components are absolutely lovely. These tiles are not just normal tiles, but they make it so it actually feels like umbrellas are filling up the streets with a lifted appearance, with the dome shape. The colors are nice and bright. I'm guessing these metal coins will only be in the deluxe edition, but they are lovely. I think everyone would love to have metal coins, but I rarely want to pay for them. But these coins are actually super cool looking, and I think they will help the feel of this game. The game can be played with 1 to 5 players, and it takes about a half an hour to play. Really, you fill the board up with umbrellas, and then boom, you're done. So it's a nice, quick game that you can play for different occasions, easy to get out. It looks good. Components are nice. They have 3D, elements. It's colorful, and it's easy to pick up. So bring your artistic side out with your family and friends in Agueda, City of Umbrellas by 25th Century Games. Again, this is Board Game Brody, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Stick around and check out some other board game reviews to see what you might want to get to the table.